Confessions of a Hypnotist. What happens if while I'm working with a client, something doesn't work? I get asked this question all the time because people are afraid of something not working because so many people have invested so much time, money, and effort into things like talk therapy or self-help books or binge watching YouTube videos or online courses, and things just don't work like they say they're going to work. So what happens if that's the case? I'm going to let you know in this video and so much more. Now, if you're new to me, welcome to the conversation. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Dan Candell. I'm known worldwide as the Anxiety Relief Guy. It's my job to help reprogram people's subconscious minds so they have more wins than losses, more good days and bad days, and more breakthroughs and breakdowns so life just gets easier for them. And that's exactly what we want, right? We all want an easier, better, more enjoyable life. And it's possible. All without the unnecessary anxiety, all without unnecessary stress, all without unnecessary overwhelm. But there are some times where I'm working with clients, and whether it be in my group or whether it be individually, and it just doesn't work. It's like everything we're doing just doesn't hit like it should. And this could mean one of two things. It could mean they still have something to learn from the problem that they have, or they're just not willing to let something go, or it could mean we haven't found the right strategy. Now, I actually have had a few clients like this recently, where I see a lot of regulars. So people are coming in every week or every other week because we're continuing to maintain momentum and we're just working with what life throws at them. But there are a small handful of clients where they keep coming in, but they're still stuck in the same problem. And there's a strategy I've been using lately with clients that has been getting people unstuck from their problems. And it's a little weird. It's kind of like taking a backdoor approach. But here's what it is. It's completely dissociating them from themselves and talking directly to their subconscious mind. Now, this is something that I find actually not many hypnotists use this strategy, and I don't know why. But what I've been doing is I've been engaging in a conversation with a person, and I say, you know what, let's just do this. Close your eyes for a few minutes, and by the way, this is after I already have taken notes about what their problem is and some things they've tried and what they've done and everything like that. And usually I've already been working with them for about like 3, 4, 5 sessions. So I said, close your eyes, and I'm just gonna talk to your subconscious mind, and I guide them through a little bit of a process, and then I say, let's say my client's name is Brian. I'll say, all right, now Brian, I'm not talking to you. I want to talk to Brian's subconscious mind. And Brian's subconscious mind, you've been sabotaging Brian. You haven't been letting him change. And it means that you're holding on to something. And you don't have to keep holding on to this to sabotage Brian anymore. And I go through this like 20-minute conversation with their subconscious mind. And what it does, it completely disconnects the client from the problem. And they feel as if their conscious mind is somewhere over there, and it's as if like they're out to lunch and their subconscious mind is its own entity. And so I'm talking not to them directly, but I'm talking to their subconscious mind, and I address it like I'm talking to their subconscious mind in a different tense. And I'm addressing just their subconscious mind and not them. And I'm saying, hey, Brian's subconscious mind, here's what you've been doing. Here's what we've got to do instead. And we really got to stop messing with Brian, because that's exactly what you're doing. And you're trying to hold on to something that doesn't help him anymore. And it probably goes way back to childhood. In fact, we've already uncovered some of the things from Brian's childhood. And it's like I'm talking about Brian to this entity that is the subconscious mind. Now, again, I don't use this as a first line of defense because it's a little weird, and by the time I use it, my clients already know I'm not your ordinary hypnotist, so we're going to get a little weird. And so I've already been working with clients for a little bit of a time, and again, I don't have to use this all the time. It's just I use it with some of the clients who are a little bit more stuck or a little bit more resistant towards change. And every single person I've used this with over the past month have given me rave reviews and been like, that was such a weird and interesting experience because I felt like you were talking to me, but you weren't talking to me. Now, for those of you who are hypnotists watching this video, or maybe even therapists watching this video, it's almost like parts work or internal family systems, IFS. It's almost like that, but I'm not even addressing the subconscious mind like a part. I'm addressing the subconscious mind as if it's a whole character altogether. And I'm just talking about the person to the person, but really to their subconscious mind. And there's something so detached that helps a person detach from their problems, and it helps them think and helps them feel like, wow, I'm really being taken care of. And it's almost like if you're a little kid and there's a doctor and a parent, and the doctor is talking about you, who's a little kid, to the parent and saying, well, you know what, here's what Brian needs in order for him to feel better. We're going to put him on this prescription, and then in a couple of days he should start feeling much better, and by Thursday he'll be back in school, going to recess, engaging in school projects again. He'll be able to start playing sports again. And now we're not talking to Brian, we're talking to the parent about Brian, but Brian's here, like little Brian is here. So that's almost what it's like. It's like somebody is reassuring Brian without addressing Brian that everything is going to be okay, and here's how you overcome the problem. So it's really been working. Now, why do I say this? Why do I share this? I share this because there's not one thing that works for every single person. And we get caught up in this idea of posting client reviews. And I do this as well. I post client reviews of really good experiences that people have had. Now, do I get a lot of bad experiences? No, I don't. And the reason why is because I screen people to make sure I'm confident that I can help them. However, there are some people that are really disappointed that they don't get results just like that. And I will say there's about 20 to 30% of the people who, like, one session will transform their entire state of being, like their entire life, and they'll be done with their problem after just like 1 or 2 sessions. However, the majority of the population I see, it's not just like we turn it off. There are some processes and protocols that we go through, and it usually takes between like 4 to 6 sessions. That I'm usually doing over the course of 2 to 3 months. And even in my group programs, there's strategies that will get people wins really quick, and then there's some strategies that'll be a little bit more progressive. So I don't want to lie to people and say like, hey, I get 100% success with every single person every single time. Sometimes there's refinement there. And sometimes a person might not get what they want every single time when they come and see me, but they get what they need. For example, there was a client that I was working with, and he was dealing with a toxic work environment. And he wanted the confidence to go back into that toxic work environment and be his best self. But what happened is no matter how good he was being, his boss and upper management, they didn't want him there. They didn't want him in the organization because there were people that they wanted to hire inside of the organization who were family members. And as we know, that's not ethical, but we'll put ethics aside for a moment. So no matter what this person did, he was always going to be met with resistance. And it doesn't matter how powerful of a hypnotist I am or what we did, there's no reason why he should feel good about that. So he wanted to be able to go into work, maintain his job, grow in his job, and feel confident about that. But there's just that continuously being knocked down. So he didn't get what he wanted. He did not at all get what he wanted. And he got what he needed, though. And what he needed was the confidence to resign from that position and go get a better job that suited him better and that fulfilled his values and his purpose. Now, some might say, well, wouldn't that be better? But yeah, but it's not what he wanted. That's not why he hired me. That's not why he signed on with me. So sometimes people don't always get what they want through working with me, but they get what they need. And that's another reason why some people will be a little, I won't say disappointed, but some people will be like, well, even though this is like the results we got were better, it's not really what we wanted, but it's what we really needed, which will be better for me over time. So I like to be realistic, and that's why I share this. However, it's really important that whenever you're working with anybody, whether it's a group program, an individual program, whoever you're working with should have a vast knowledge and should have the understanding that there's not one thing that's going to work for every single person every single time. So they need to be flexible and they need to be adaptable. And as I'm pursuing my master's degree and my PhD in psychology, I am learning more and more about the importance of taking a client-centered approach. And I've always done this. I've always taken a client-centered approach. But there are a lot of people in the profession of hypnosis and of therapy and of coaching that only use one or two approaches, and they're trying to fit the client to that approach instead of their approach to the client. So it's not client-centered based, it's approach-based. And there are people that say, oh, parts work or internal family systems should work 100% of the time. Should it though? Really? Should it? Theoretically, yeah, it should, but does that mean it's going to? No, it doesn't. So I think we need to be more realistic. If that sounds good to you and you would like to explore working with me, there's a link somewhere in the description of this video that will allow you to apply, because I do have everybody apply for my programs. Just so that way I can make sure that I'm confident I can help them. With that said, my friends, thank you so much. Make sure you rate, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, whatever you do. And as always, be well, do good, be true to who you are, happy healing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.